How often do you look at old photos and videos?
Once every 2 or 3 weeks.
I guess once every couple of months, every 2 or 3 months or so.
I look at photos probably once a week. We just had a baby, so we generally look at photos and videos quite a bit. I would say at least once a week.
As often as possible.
Probably once a week.
What kind of photos and videos do you have?
Photos of the children, wedding photos, holiday photos.
I've got videos of journeys and trips that I've taken with my wife and my family.
The photos and videos we have generally change over the years that we've been doing it. So my oldest photos would be from me and my friends going out, and then it would change to holidays, and then me and my now wife, and obviously they change all the way through. Now it's mostly of my little baby, mostly photos and videos of her.
I'm interested in old architecture.
Mostly of my grandchildren.
Where do you keep your photos?
They're on my computer at home.
I keep my photos on my computer.
All of my photos are stored on my laptop or my phone, nowhere else really.
Where do I keep my photos? On the computer and in files.
In my cell phone.
Where do you come from?
I come from New Delhi, India.
I come from Southampton in England, in the south of England.
I come from Reading in Berkshire.
Brooklyn, New York.
I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What do you like about your hometown?
Delhi is a large and very diverse city with people from all over the country and all over the world that have come and settled over there. A very cosmopolitan city, a lot of culture, a lot of history.
There's lots to do. It's easy for travel. I can get to lots of places from the motorways.
There are some really nice villages on the outskirts of the town, Pangbourne, and some areas sort of in the south of Oxfordshire. Also, like there's Reading Football Club, a home there, so I do go to watch football quite a bit. And I like the parks.
What do I like about New York? Its diversity, cultural possibilities, 24/7. There's always something to do here. It's intellectually fascinating.
It has a lot of hills, and I like the change of seasons. It's very green.
How's your town changing at the moment?
It's becoming very urban and very developed. So there are a lot of buildings coming up in places where there used to be parks.
There's a lot of new shops opening up. It's becoming more of a tourist place than it has been in the past.
Reading is growing massively because it is a big commuter town into London. So yeah, you can see that the shopping's getting bigger, everything's getting bigger, basically.
How is it changing at the moment? It's a good question. New York has always been an international port, if you will. How is it changing? I think there are more people here. There are more people from other countries here. I think New York has become much more attractive over the past 20 to 30 years. Yeah, it's a magnet, I think. It's one of the great cities of the world.
The city has lost a lot of its retail, and it's providing more condominiums and housing in the downtown area and restaurants.
When did you last feel nervous?
The last time I felt nervous was yesterday when I arrived in London and had to find my youth hostel. And the station I needed to find was closed, so I had to find a different station. I found a subway map and was able to use it to find my youth hostel.
I last felt nervous at a job interview I had a few months ago before I moved here. I had to get it so that I could move here, and it was quite tough, quite complicated technical questions I had to pass, but I got it, and now I'm here.
This morning I was travelling to a university open day alone. Going up on the train, I was quite nervous to go by myself.
Last Thursday I was taking a computer programming final, and I was pretty nervous about that.
I went to Chicago last week, gave a presentation at the university, and there were some people that I wanted to impress, so I felt a little nervous.
What is your favourite possession?
My favourite possession at the moment is my tablet.
Maybe my guitar or my ukulele.
My favourite possession is my smartphone.
I think my favourite possession would be the boat I just bought 2 years ago.
My favourite possession is a violin.
Why is it special to you?
It's special because it's got everything that I need on it. If I want to watch television, I can watch it on my tablet. I can watch film. I can find out what's on the internet, more information about my town. I can learn more about the world.
I think just to make music, even if it's not very good music, I'm not that good, it's still something lovely. It makes you feel good.
It's special to me because I can do many things with it. I can take pictures, I can go on the internet, I can listen to music.
It's special to me because I love the outdoors, I love to fish, and it's a great time to spend time with my friends and family.
Well, it is a violin that I acquired from a luthier in Maine who became a good friend of mine. I took up playing the fiddle several years ago, and he is a gentleman who takes old fiddles that are in disrepair and rebuilds them, remakes them. And I've owned 3 or 4 of them, some much more profound and exciting than I felt I deserved. But I've most recently gotten one by an Italian violin maker, Carlo Carletti, from the 19th century. And it's just a beautiful violin. I love it.
Do you prefer spending time alone or with other people?
I think I prefer to spend time with other people, with friends, good friends.
I like to be alone because it gives me time to think.
A bit of both. It depends on the occasion. I think I need to have both. I like socialising, going out with my friends and my family, coming here into London, and there are other times where I'll need to spend time on my own. That's often with my tablet.
I prefer to spend time with other people. I'm more of a people person.
It all depends on what my mood is, but usually with other people.
When do you like being alone?
If I have things to do, if I have a busy week of work, then I like to have a little bit of alone time somewhere in between to catch up on things.
I like being alone after I come home from work or after I spend a lot of time away from my home.
Normally late in the evening, either after going out, it's probably the best time. First thing in the morning, it's probably when I spend the time on my own. But I normally plan my day ahead. I normally go out with friends, but my time on my own is first thing in the morning and end of the day.
I don't like being alone.
I like being alone after I've had a hard day at work, and I like to come home and sometimes just sit by myself and process what happened through the day.
Do you think you are more introverted or extroverted?
I think a bit of both. With close friends, you're always going to be extroverted because you feel like yourself, but with strangers, then you'll always be a little bit introverted.
I think I am more introverted because I like to be alone or I like to be with a small group of people.
Depends on the occasion. I sometimes can be quite extroverted, but most of the time introverted.
I'm more introverted until I get to know somebody, and then I'm more outgoing and extroverted, but I stay to myself until I get to know someone.
I think that I'd have to call myself an extrovert.
What are you going to do for your holiday this summer?
I'm going to visit some old friends in Germany.
This summer I'm going on a city break to Paris. I'm going to see the sights.
This year we're planning to go to Budapest for a short city break, maybe 4 days or so.
I'm actually not going on vacation. I'm staying in New York, working a couple different jobs. I'm going to be an RA for my dorm at school and working an administrative position for ITS.
Well, first I have to go to Madrid, which is going to be great. I love Spain. I don't speak Spanish, but it'll be good anyway. And then I have to go home to Cleveland. My sister is taking her black belt test, so I'm there to support. And then later I'll have to go to Cambridge in England, but that's for work, but it'll still be fun.
Who are you going with?
I'm going alone.
I'm going with my mum for a second visit to Paris.
I'm going with my parents.
Well, to Madrid, I'm going with a lot of friends, so it is for work, but a lot of my friends from graduate school are going, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then my family in Cleveland and such.
How good are you at fixing things that are broken?
I'm not very good at fixing broken things.
I'm good at fixing computers, but I'm not so good at fixing shelves and furniture, that sort of thing.
I'm not very good at fixing things.
Pretty good.
I'm pretty bad. I mean, I know how to use a screwdriver, and that's about all I can say in the positive direction for my abilities.
Do you enjoy doing it? What was the last thing you fixed?
Yeah, I get satisfaction out of it. Oh gosh, there's a lot. So we just moved, so there's been a lot of things. The closet door yesterday. Put it back on track.
Who do you ask for help? What was the last thing they fixed?
I normally ask my dad for help. The last thing he helped me with was changing a tire on my car.
I asked my dad for help with the practical things. Last thing he fixed was my desk.
I asked my dad for help, and the last thing he fixed for me was a wardrobe that had broken.
Anyone I can find.
What 3 things do you think are important for a good education?
Having a family that values education, having exciting, inspiring teachers, and putting aside time to study.
I think a broad range of subjects is important to cover a lot of different areas, and I think a good environment, school environment or a college environment, and good teachers is most important, I think.
Good teachers, self-motivation, and a good environment to work in.
I think support system inside the school and outside of the school. Mostly I think parents. I think so supportive parents and family. Determination and desire.
Okay, so for me, I found discipline was really important. Because it's hard to force yourself to do all the studying that you need to do, because there's always more studying than you think. You have to be thinking critically, as opposed to just taking in whatever the professor or teacher is telling you. Then you don't really understand what's going on. And you have to think creatively, because if you can't produce new things with what you learned, then still you haven't really learned it. So those are the 3 important things for me.
What subjects do students have to study in your country?
I'm from New Zealand, and we only have to study English, mathematics and science.
We have to study English, maths, sciences, some humanities, such as geography. And I think we have to study a foreign language. I'm not sure though.
English, maths, sciences, and at least one humanity, possibly a language.
English, math, history. What else? Have to. I think that's it. Chemistry, sciences, I guess.
Well, of course, there's like the standard, like history, English, which is actually just literature, math or arithmetic at least, and then usually you have to learn Spanish or French. Maybe learn is a strong word, but you have to take classes in Spanish or French, sometimes German, that sort of thing. But you get to take electives. I mean, of course, you have to take biology and chemistry and physics, and depending.
How long do pupils have to stay in school in your country?
In New Zealand, you must stay in school until you're 16, but most people stay until they're about 18.
I think we have to stay up until the age of 16. We did when I was at school.
Pupils normally begin school at 4 or 5 and they finish school around 17, 18.
Until 18.
It's usually like from 5 until 17 or 18.
How do you greet people in your country?
With a handshake or a kiss on the cheek or a hug.
Well, I am from Gothenburg in Sweden, and it's a little bit different to here in the UK.
I usually shake hands and say good morning or hello or good afternoon, depending on the time of day.
I shake hands with men, and when I greet a woman who I know, I kiss her on both cheeks. If it's a woman I don't know, I would shake her hand.
It's usually a casual hello. If it's a formal, it's a handshake. And if it's a good friend, it's hugs and kisses.
How do you greet your friends, family, and colleagues?
Colleagues will shake hands. Male friends, we hug. Female friends, we kiss on the cheeks.
In Sweden, we greet by hugging, whereas here in the UK, you greet by kissing on the cheeks. Colleagues, it's the same, we shake hands.
Family we greet by hugging. Colleagues, it depends. Colleagues I don't know well, it's the shaking hands. Because of the line of work I do, colleagues that I'm very close to, it's like they're close friends, so we might hug.
Friends and family, a hug, kiss, kiss on both cheeks. My dad actually kisses me on both cheeks when he sees me. Colleagues, always a handshake.
Oh, family and friends, it's hugs and kisses. The grandchildren jump up on me. My daughter and son, we just hug and kiss. If I'm close to them, have a good, warm relationship, again, it's a hug and a kiss. Otherwise, if it's more professional, it's a handshake.
Are the rules the same for men and women?
No, women are less formal. Women will kiss friends and maybe in business shake hands, but lot less formal.
Yes, the rules are the same for both men and women.
Yes, actually. At least in my part of the country.
No, at work? No, they're different. I think there's different greetings, but it depends on the situation.
In terms of greeting, I think so.
Do you enjoy eating home-cooked food or eating in a cafe, restaurant?
I prefer to eat out.
I prefer to eat home-cooked food, but I cannot cook, so I eat out a lot in restaurants.
I actually enjoy home-cooked food more, but I rarely get it.
I prefer to eat in a restaurant. I love eating out, but I think it's just good to eat at home as well. Living in New York, you can eat out all the time, but it's a nice discipline just to eat in, spend some time, make something really nice. It feels good to do that.
I love home-cooked food. I love gathering around a table and being with family. The last home-cooked meal I had was at my daughter's house. It was king crab legs. Put the newspaper out on the table. We got buttery and gooey, and it was wonderful.
Are you good at cooking?
Yes, I am. I like to cook spicy foods, but my best dish is a roast dinner.
Unfortunately, I am very bad at cooking.
If I have time and feel like following directions, yes.
I'm good at cooking some specific dishes. There's a few things that I do well, but I'm not a good generalist cook. I'm not someone who you can give things to and I'll just make something, magically rustle something up. I need to have a recipe.
I am good at cooking. I don't follow recipes, so I just start with something and start throwing things in. But now that I'm living alone, I prefer to eat with family and not do my own cooking.
What's your favourite meal?
It's roast chicken with roast potatoes and plenty of veg.
I'm Swedish, so I like a lot of fish. And we serve it with potatoes and lettuce, tomatoes, etc.
My favorite meal would probably be, let's see, schnitzel, Wiener Schnitzel.
I really love risotto.
I love Thai food, and I love simple food, and salads and meat, chicken, simple food.
How often do you read, listen, or watch the news?
I read or listen to the news every day.
I listen to the news once a day at midnight on BBC Radio 4, and perhaps some days in the week I might watch the news on the television.
I watch the news every day. If I don't get it in the morning, then I turn on the radio and listen to it there.
Every other day I read the news.
Every day. I read a newspaper in the morning, I watch the news in the evening and also get clips through the day.
Do you prefer to get the news from the television, newspapers, or online?
I usually read the news online because it's very convenient for me and I can access it at any time.
I prefer to listen to the news on the radio, and as communication in the world is now so fast, being online you get the news almost instantly.
Television, because you can watch it and listen to it, and it doesn't take much concentration.
I prefer to get the news online because if I don't understand anything, I can always look it up and find out what it means.
I like a combination. I guess I mainly get it from online digital devices.
What was the last interview you had?
I had an interview this morning for a university. I think it went quite well and hopefully I'll get a place.
It was a year ago, an IT manager's position for a telecoms company. I did a lot of research and prepared myself quite well and was lucky enough to get the job. I'm still there today.
The last interview I had was for a play. I was interviewed by a very famous director. He liked me. I came away thinking I had the part, but I did not get the part.
I had a big interview for a computer job and it took all afternoon, and I had a whole series of people come in and question me, but the last guy started telling jokes, so I felt like I'd done well.
The last interview I had was with a health professional because of my disability. I had an interview to see if I was fit for work and a medical test, and I was told that I could go and do voluntary work.